Uh, Good afternoon. It's really nice to see you guys here. It's really nice to see you guys here. Our production is on, and today is the premiere for the movie that we shot. I hope you all enjoy, but let us first have a word from the producer, Mr. Aaron. We are recording this, please. Thank you. Mr. Aaron. Hey guys, please welcome Morena God.
Thank you very much, Tim. What we're going to see here is an end product of a good number of months of hard work. It all started like an idea, and today we are going to see the final product. I would like to first and foremost thank all those who participated in the production in their different capacities, the actors, the guys behind the camera, those who edited it. I see some of our improvised cast members here also, few people who came in when we were out of cast members. It's an all-inclusive production. I believe every person in the class played a role, which is a very good thing. And I think we should celebrate the fact that we are one of the few classes to at least hand in this project while we are still at school. So thank you very much for your effort. I'll hand the mic over to the director to talk about the technical aspect.
Thank you. Good afternoon once again. I really have little to say. I was thinking that it would be better for me to respond to people's questions or anything, comments about the drama, how we shot it, the challenges we faced. Otherwise, we tried our best. My worry was finishing the drama finishing the drama after exams or after campus. But I tried my best to see that, this is done before exams. At this moment, I would like you people to clap for our editor, because he went an extra mile. I can assure you, some of us were reading, others were reading, but he edited up to the last day of our first paper. That was Thursday. And on Thursday night, he was still editing. He finished at around midnight 01. And he had a paper in the morning. In the afternoon. He had to read for the paper the following day in the afternoon. So, all that is called teamwork and effort and devotion. When you're committed and you want to show your best or produce your best, it requires you to go an extra mile. He did his best. We tried. Everyone tried. And we want to see the fruits of our product. If it yielded or we were just gambling, all that is going to be analyzed based on our product. I don't want to waste time. Let's go straight to the drama.
I feel like a speech with no words, a rocking to hers, all because
demo. Too bad demo one more time. Too bad demo, too bad demo. With the girl to book over full time.
Yo, so polite, me no trouble nobody. Come in the pandit top of the chat. Kava kava kava
Babylon, Babylon.
Jayo sitori, you get a chizori. You last time I bet you bundi, you sin is away you. I'm the real deal, pan the real thing. I'm the illest thing surviving. Tumpa dampa, siku wada not. Naughty bad mind come see me elevate.
Too bad demo, too bad demo. Too bad demo one more time. Too bad demo, too bad demo. Music it to book over non-stop.
Again, again.
Greetings, Mercy. Dr. Jimmy Phone. You did not show up for the appointment that was scheduled for today. Is everything alright? Okay. Enough of the excuses, Mercy. Can I see you first thing Monday morning? Please be there without fail. Okay. All right. Bye.
I feel like a speech with no words, so rocking to hers.
You know that it's the mom that is kissing the son.
My feelings on you, so that my emotions.
I thought that was like the main character.
No, the mom loves the son.
So when they love each other, they kiss on the lips.
Do they kiss on the
Weird.
bud?
No, like your mom is supposed to like peck you or something.
You know that is a
Funny,
mom
and
like
you know-
really loves the son. Really loves.
Like the mom likes the son.
Like how you can love your boyfriend.
No, the mom is calling.
Hello? Hi, Mom. Yeah, Mom. You're coming? Okay, I'll be happy to see you and Dad.
What's wrong with you all of a sudden?
My mom and Dad are coming. You have to help me. They can't find all these things. Shiba, please hurry up. They can't find all these things.
What?
Yeah. Please, get
First week you're going to spoil them. Get them slowly.
concentrate right now. Please don't do
All these things that you they
No,
don't
no, first carry that you got in bring. They can't find all these things.
It's all that you as I used to be like a rock of the storm.
Thank you for coming.
My princess, how are you?
I'm so fine and I'm so happy to see you.
You okay?
But you look smaller, my dear.
Your mom
Is it campus?
your mommy is always complaining about small things. How is school, my dear?
So fine,
It's
so
okay?
fine. Everything is all good. Dad. By the way, about Uncle Squangula, he promised me that I'll be there. I don't know when it's going to be.
Maybe ask your mother.
But the two of you, don't you see she's starving?
Umwana muleke wallahi.
I'm glad that I've carried enough food for you, my daughter. Oh, thank you.
Oh, Mama, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, I know everything. I still remember. Thank you, Mama. Nayanzizanyo kwasi. Banagenda kuchini. Thank you so much. Kuno ngenda geja sikuiba ngenda geja. Njageja kusinga mami. I promise. Thank you, mommy.
Also remember to share with your friends.
Mwana wange, you have to eat. I think you're not supposed to be so fishy, so you have to share.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Daddy.
You have to read.
Daddy, my book is on
You have to put in more
I
effort.
forgot to ask. How is school?
It's so fine. I'm going to begin everything is just so fine. I think I can get it done and many things will go well.
Okay, I wish you graduate. Sagalo, ojonga bingwa tesimaya bichisizi.
Daddy,
Kwesiga kuva kutoa mabadde mugezi.
Ndi mugezi, ndi kagezi. Thank you so much. Mami msoke mutuleko. Mama, I'm going to cook. Daddy, this is my work. Mama, Daddy, you've seen my work. You see, Summer.
You did all this yourself?
Yes, like I think that first I was the best. Did you see? Told them, child. Where I got
what? Mercy. I told you this room is too big now. Can't you get a smaller one and save some money?
Money, what do you mean?
It depends on the things big and it has little things.
When my friends come, what do they say? I tell Monday when Bam cut, I have some space.
Campus girls. How a campus and I love all get it.
But mommy, Mala.
Zenda banene nnyo.
This room is just
ate waina yayina talazo
nawe mami tiles talazo tiles
ate byalagawa
ati nyakyusa
eno kati ya sente ntono nnyo.
Nanti olaba biri mami gyoyise talazo, those ones are very expensive but these ones they are cheaper.
Okay.
Yeah, kati mami nange naye go save.
Mwana wange
mami yes. Mami, I'm so happy. Thank you for coming.
Yolimuyiya ngakitawo.
I think the kayonje mami kubanga olaba kino eno flow nebeera nga it's very dirty.
Kale mwana wange.
Nedati gwe tompolereza.
Kyemmanyi ofune rumu ng'ejja mu ssente ze tukuwa. Kuba embeera eri waka naawe ogimanyi. Kati ekyo olina obuyinza.
Kale tukulabyeko nno. Mbooza tugende. 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 Tugende bye.
Mami wansuubiza ettaano kati ne leero ogenze
Ebira essimu enkya ngenda esoma nnyo.
It's a litmus, a bad man. Here we come again, yeah. Party time, girl, no wasting time. Cause I'm out when you come around. Turn the one, girl, you shake it up, pull it up, bring it down, girl, like a dummy now. Summertime, girl, we getting hot. Whole party, girl, with the honor. Me not looking like a coconut, freestyle, girl, come now, you know what you're on. Fine ties in the poolside. Pool party, me no want to match. And papi, girl, me want to touch. Give me that, girl, give me that, to the bad man. It's a summertime, a party time. Light up the place, girl, mash up the place. Mash up the place, girl, light up the place. Oh, oh. DJ turn up the sound, girl, wind up your waist. Oh, oh. It's a pool party. I think girl, you know. Pool party.
My bad. You're right. Let me pass call to us. I'm sure I can plan it.
It's a pool party. I think girl, you know. Pool party. Summertime. Party time, girl, no wasting time. Cause I'm all when me come around. Tell the one girl you shake it up, pull it up, bring it down, girl, like a dummy now. Summertime, girl, we getting hot. Pool party, girl, be the honor. Me not looking like a coconut freestyle, girl, come now, me know what you want. Fantas in the poolside. Pool party, me now want your match. Me and papi, girl, me want to touch, throw me down, girl, give me that, to the bad man. It's a summertime, a party time. Light up the place, girl, mash up the place. Mash up the place, girl, light up the place. Oh, oh, mash it up. DJ turn up the sound, girl, wind up your waist. Oh, oh, it's a pool.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the annual UCU Media Link Dinner 2019. The gentleman on my left is none other than my uncle, Richard Chamagero, the owner of this hotel. He is the reason why we are here today. So uncle, as you know, I led the organization of this media dinner. And I couldn't have done it, of course, just by myself.
Chimanyi gwe mwana ngasingayo kiwa kitaba kwenyeza nnyo.
Well, these are my friends that helped me organize the event.
We are born leaders who don't follow. She wants kiss me tonight like a mango. I saw me tell her segura wo muriango. She's the queen Shiba, I'm the Rambo. One it Monday to Sunday. Sit down pan it, sit down pan it. Sit down pan it, mono mochi sing. Tip on your toe, tip on your toe. Tip on your toe, girl I did it in me. Sit down pan it, sit down pan it.
Why don't you join the others?
I'm not a good dancer, I prefer watching.
Not really. Well, I just hustle to get money so that my family can survive on my legacy when I'm gone. Speaking of brand, why don't I show you around this beautiful place?
Monday to Sunday. say me sting. The most if you want to the good body girl them. Me say signal top baby come on. Inze when kuyito yitabanga. Kale bambe muze yichijana. Bundi mwana nombira kukana. Bombo clot.
It's no big deal. I'll be seeing a doctor before I come back home. Don't wait up for me. Okay. Love you too. Yes, sir. Listen and listen very carefully. In no way should she leave this place before dawn and also after. Am I clear?
Absolutely, sir.
Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
And get her some new clothes to put on. Am I clear?
Absolutely, sir.
And John, listen to me. No one should know about this.
Okay.
Am I clear?
Okay, sir.
Off you go.
Please get up. Please get up. Help me out.
Where's my friend? Where's my friend? Have you seen her? Where have you taken her? I saw you with her. I saw them with
They took her to her place.
They took her. Who was taking her to her place?
hostel.
Where did you leave us yesterday? Where did you leave the party yesterday? You left us without even communicating anything, and we have been sick, worried about you. Are you okay?
Just leave me alone. I was tired and all of you were drunk.
What does that mean that we're all drunk and you don't even communicate where you're going? Are you okay? Is everything fine? Mercy, you're even funny. So I come here, worried, sick about, and it turns out you're perfectly fine with a bonus of an attitude. Perfect! You ungrateful bitch! Just go where you say I'm fine.
With your words are rocking to hearts, all because I care. I'm feeling so new, so blue, my emotions so confused, all because I care. I'm feeling so broken deep inside, like a vision out of sight, and it makes me want to cry, all because I care, all because I care, and only I could be as solid as I used to be, like a rock through the storm or a battle that's won. I will feel complete if only I was an actress to act a scene where I don't care about you and me. Hurry than better. I wish that there was never you and me.
Hello. Shiba, can you please come to my hostel? Yeah, right now, please, just come.
My emotions are confused, all because I can't. I'm feeling so broken deep inside, like a vision out of sight, and it makes me want.
You even left you.
All because I care.
We're not living in a pigsty. What is this? How are you even living like this? Are you fine? Can you imagine? We are now living in a pigsty. All these things. Are you serious? Are you serious with your life, Mercy? What is going on with your life? Are you okay?
They're going to kill me.
What did you say?
Sebo, tusaba tuyambe muwala waffe asome. Obukoko n'embuzi bye tubadde tulunda okufuna ebisale by'essomero bwafudde olwadda mutiko w'enkuba eyatonya wiiki ewedde.
Kyonna ky'oyagala ssebo tujja kikola. Neyamba muwala waffe. Please help us. Kyonna.
Mwami Lumala. Temutya. Actually, I talked to my colleagues in the government. I'll talk to them. The situation will be held. Actually, you look hungry. I think I should take you guys for lunch. What do you think? Sure. Don't worry. Njakubera bulungi. Don't worry.
I have a message from my boss.
What have I done?
If you ever breathe of what happened to
What have I done?
if you ever breathe, oh, you'll be dead. They'll kill you. Who is going to kill you? Please talk to me. You know I'm your best friend. You can trust me and tell me anything. Please tell me, because you've been very weird. Who's going to kill you? You just don't have to go through this alone. You can talk to me about it.
He's rich, he's powerful. He's powerful, he's rich, he's everything. I don't know.
You're most welcome, madam. Please have a seat. Good morning. So, what can I do for you today?
He told me if I told anyone, I would be dead meat. He threatened me.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, madam. Justice shall prevail. We shall get down to this. What's the name of this culprit?
He's called Richard Chamagero. He owns a lot of hotels and
We need to start this investigation. The sooner the better.
Thank you so much.
No, it's okay. It's my job, miss. I will make sure this does not go unpunished. Let me see you out.
You see what I told you? That man is nice. He's going to help us.
But Shiba, I'm really worried about all. What if that man tells Chamagero and then again he sends his women to come and torture me?
No.
I don't trust people. That man is rich.
You see, this is the start of everything. But I want you to trust me that I'm going to be with you at every step of anything. Don't you worry, because you're with me and God is on our side.
Mercy, you need to check. I will switch off the phone. But we have to check to find out if we can get what you're suffering from.
I'm really worried about all this.
It's okay, don't get worried. We need to first find out. At times such things come up because you are always thinking about them.
Yeah, but is it going to hurt?
It's not going to hurt. Just lay down. Just lay down. You're going to be okay. We just need to raise this leg so that I can check and see what exactly is wrong with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh. Doctor.
It's okay. Take it slow. It's okay. Just put your hand away. Don't worry. It's okay. Mercy, you don't need to cry. You just have to have a few more. We are going to have a few more tests done in the lab to go with what I have seen.
Is it really that bad?
You don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about anything. Okay? All will be well. All will be well. Don't cry. You're a strong lady. Women are always strong. Don't cry. You should dress up and we're going to run some lab tests. Have you heard? I'm going to post some lab tests that I need and I'll go and pick the results. Just a minute, I need to add something here. The mask powder, right? Okay. You'll go to the lab and they'll run those tests. I'll go for the results. Don't you worry, you're going to be okay. Trust me. You just sit out there and I'll bring the results. Don't cry. Be a strong lady. Be a strong lady, Mercy.
Plus, you know, she's fantastic. She looks good, doesn't she? It's almost decent. You better raise 2 million. This is some bullshit you've landed yourself into. We're gonna have a good time, baby.
Find out and get a solution. Sweet, all is going to be well, I assure you. You don't have to cry. I understand what you're going through, Mercy, but you don't have to go through this alone. You can always talk to me.
I already know the results.
Mercy, I need to know. I need to know what went wrong. We are not going to find a solution if I don't find out what exactly happened. I've been there. I've handled a lot of cases. Talk to me. Don't cry. Just bring it all out. I'm ready to listen. And I'm not going to judge you. Mercy? 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 Listening. But you know I've been there before. Other office is giving you a lot of thoughts. We could check it out. I'll tell you my experience. Maybe there you'll be able to open up to me. We can go and talk. We can talk out of office. Are you okay with that? Let's go. You don't want to know your results?
I already know the result.
Maybe we shall have time for them. Let's go.
Okay.
to act to see, don't care if I'm always in better.
Mercy, Chamagero? Yes, Chamagero. He did it again? I'm going to help you, Mercy. Mercy, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you, Mercy. We have to stop this gentleman. We have to. I know Chamagero, but the only thing is, what we have is just little evidence. We need to see the scene. We need to see the whole action. If it was in the hotel, that means there was footage on the camera in the kitchen. Mercy, we have to stop Mr. Chamagero, or else he's going to do the same to every girl. Don't worry, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you, Mercy. We have to put this guy to stop. Don't cry, keep quiet, keep quiet, keep quiet, keep quiet. He cannot survive. He cannot survive. He won't survive, Mercy. You don't have to cry. You don't have to take yourself off. Don't cry. We need to get this footage. We need evidence. There is no way we can tell the police that in fact we have this footage. Mercy, we need this footage. It's the only way we can be. It's the only way the police can accept us to go to court. Let's go, let's go.
Are you lost?
No, we just saw something and we want to check for some footage so that we can get it. In the kitchen especially. Just in the kitchen.
What was it you are looking for?
It's okay. Never mind.
Somebody must have deleted it.
Never mind. Anyway, I have a girlfriend. She could help us. Let me call her. She's going to help us, Mercy. You have hope. Don't start crying now.
Good day, Madam Osi. We have a case we would love to report to you.
Good day, ladies. May I please listen to your case?
I and a friend of mine reported this case last month and were promised action, but we have not been contacted.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
I'll have to check through my files. When did you say this was?
It was last month, 25th. I think it was Tuesday. And we found a man here. I think he was the CID.
I think I found it. Are the names Maswala?
Yes.
Oh. Well, how come no one has told me about this case? But don't worry, ladies. I'll surely look into it. I'll take it up myself.
It's you, Richie Chamagero. Mashawi, you're the reason as to why I've suffered all this long. But surely this time you must pay for it. You must pay for it.
Counsel, we are hoping that you will take on this case. This man has to be brought to justice. Please just do it for us.
Are we still going on trial, or it's too long?
Mercy, such men were my impetus to join law school. Rape is a felony, and this gruesome act is liable to imprisonment with or without corporal punishment. So please, give me the details of what exactly happened that night. Okay?
But I remember I was sitting on the table with my friends and Mr. Chamagero kept looking at me. I just thought it was normal. I thought it was just going to stop at that. But I don't know. Then after all my friends went to dance, I stayed there. I was just sitting and he asked me if it was fine for him to take me around to look at his hotel. His hotel was so grand. So I accepted and I went. As we went, when we were going to the kitchen, he pulled me, he pushed me to the wall. I tried to resist. I didn't know what he was doing. He just pushed me, he had a lot of energy and he forced himself on me. I tried to stop him, but I couldn't. I did everything I could. He had a lot of energy. That's all I can say. It was that rich man. He even threatened to do worse if I ever say anything.
Hold on. It was Chamagero that raped you. Oh my God. That man has a lot of influence. It will be impossible to defeat him. We just can't. You even say he threatened you? That act in its own nature is liable to imprisonment of close to 5 years. Oh. Mercy, please stop crying. Get up. That Rascal has a bunch of bloodthirsty lawyers, but that should not dissuade our desire for justice, okay? Please get up. I'm going to do anything in my power to make sure he's brought to justice, okay? Please get up. Stop crying.
Olivia, you're a fellow woman. You are a fellow woman. Please, let's stop this bastard from hurting other innocent girls. You see, Mercy's now a victim.
Dr. Gina, I have dealt with cases involving this man, and I know he will do anything it takes to ensure this lawsuit doesn't see the light of day. But we have to stop him. I'll do everything in my power to make sure this lawsuit goes through to trial, okay?
Yes.
I'll do anything it takes. Mercy, please, have faith. We are going to go to trial and we shall get justice, okay?
Thank you, friend. The world needs more people like you. Thank you so much, Olivia.
Let's prepare and go to trial, okay?
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Mercy, we shall go to trial, okay? Hello, counsels. Are you ready for trial?
Counsel, my client is not guilty. He's an honorable man.
So, little counsel, are you ready to drop this case and find one you can actually handle?
a very prominent man, and no one is going to believe these little talks of yours and schemes for money. I suggest we settle this outside of court.
We all know you don't believe the bullshit you say. I intend to move to trial. This case will be heard before a judge, and your classman will not abate him from me or this suit.
Ah, you have courage, but this courage will not take you anywhere. We'll see. Just drop this case, go home, and do something else with your life.
So you actually think you can talk me out of this? Eh? Let's meet in court.
Hello. Yeah. You can let them in. Okay. Welcome. How can I be of help to you?
Mr. Richard Chambagero, you're under arrest for the rape of a one Mercy Kwagala and obstruction of justice. Anything you say or do will be used against you in the courts of law. And you have a right
Whoa, you bitch. Shut up. Do you know who you're messing with? I'm Richard Chambagero, the richest man in this city. And you're not taking me anywhere. This is nonsense.
Well, you have a right to get your own lawyer. Oh, the state will be glad to provide one for you.
You'll be sorry. My lawyers will prove me innocent. You're not taking me anywhere.
Take him
out. No. My lawyers will prove me innocent.
So what's wrong? What should I do?
Get my lawyers right now.
Okay.
All right. Department 1 of the Superior Court is now in session. Judge Kennedy presiding. All be seated.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Calling the case of Uganda versus Chamagero, 4752. Are both sides ready?
Ready for the people, Your Honor.
Ready for defense, Your Honor. Please.
Your Honor, the defendant is being charged with the rape of my client, Mercy Kwagala. The evidence shows the act was forceful. Medical reports will prove this. The defense I will present will show that the defendant is guilty as charged.
Your Honor, under the law, my client is presumed innocent. During this trial, you will find no evidence against my client. I call the defendant to stand. On the 25th of August, you were charged at Kabalagala Police Station with rape contrary to Section 125 of the Penal Code Act. Do you understand the charges?
Yes, Your Honor.
And how do you plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
A plea of not guilty entered. May you please take a seat, sir. Prosecution. Are you ready to proceed?
Your Honor, the people call upon Shiba, a friend to the aggrieved, as my first witness. Shiba, please take the stand.
Raise your hand. Touch the Bible. You promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
Shiba, what do you do for a living?
I'm a student.
Where were you the night of the alleged crime?
I was at Bonanza Hotel. I was working in the hallway looking for my friend Mercy, who had gone for a long time.
So what were you doing as this was happening?
I was just walking around looking for her because she had left with Mr. Richie and I'd not seen her for a while. So while I was looking for her, I just had Mr. Richie on the phone. I didn't see what he was doing, but I heard him speak to his assistant about getting her new clothes. And when I tried to run after the assistant, I realized that it was Mercy they were talking about, or they were taking her away in the car.
Was she willing to go with them in the car?
No, she was not willing because they were carrying her. I saw two people carrying her, and when I tried to run after the car, they sped off quickly. So I know she was not willing to go with them. They scared her. They forced her to go with them.
Thank you very much. No more questions, Your Honor.
Does the defense have any questions? The prosecution may call the next witness.
News reaching our desk right now indicates that renowned city socialite
Richard Chamagero, who is currently at the High Court, is facing charges of alleged rape. Our respondent, who is at the source, has mourned this development. Penny Nyangoma, what is the current situation?
I'm here at the High Court, where renowned city socialite Richard Chamagero.
The people called to stand, Dr. Gina. Dr. Gina, please take a stand.
Dr. Gina, raise your hand. Touch the Bible. You promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do. Dr. Gina, what do you do for a living?
I'm a gynecologist.
How do you know the aggrieved?
She's a patient of mine.
When was the last time you had her checked?
Last week.
What was it that you found?
Your Honor, I found forceful entry around her vaginal area and torn tissues that possibly it could be rape. I have medical forms for you.
Your Honor, these medical forms prove that Mercy Kwagala has torn tissues in her vaginal areas. Please take a look at them. No more questions, Your Honor, for now.
Please take your seat, counsel. Does the defense have any questions?
Yes, Your Honor. Dr. Gina.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you say you examined our bereaved 2 weeks ago, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
But then they accused my client of having raped her a month ago. Is that correct?
It's time had passed, but it is possible.
So basically, from what I see, from what I'm gathering here, this looks like a ploy between the doctor and the client to get money from my client.
Objection, Your Honor.
Objection granted.
Okay, let me rephrase. Dr. Gina, does the medical information in this report show that my client actually raped the victim?
Time had passed, but don't think.
That is not on that. Clearly, you have no proof. There is clearly no proof against my client, so my client is innocent. That is all, Your Honor.
The witness has been excused. This court will resume tomorrow for hearing. The court has been adjourned.
All right.
Renowned city socialite Richard Chamagero is on trial, facing charges of alleged rape to a one-man socialite. Richard Chamagero is a city socialite who owns a fleet of brand new cars, including the Cafe Bonanza acquired by The courts are filled with a grim as everyone in society wants to know the outcome of this testify. Reporting for UTV, I am feeling like come with evidence. I'm going to call you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh my God. This is great. Done. Oh my.
The counsel to the plaintiff.
Prosecution has prepared 2 witnesses for today, but one is still on his way. We ask for more time.
Counsel, let us proceed with the present witnesses.
Prosecution calls to stand the officer in charge of Mukono Police Station.
See, please raise your hand. Touch the paper, please. Your right hand. Raise your hand. Yes. You promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Thank you. Please tell us who you are and what you do.
I am Agore Sarah, the officer in charge of Mukono Police Station.
Thank you. Were you on duty the night of 25th August?
No, I wasn't. But I go through my files every morning to see the cases that have been reported.
So when was this case brought to your notice?
It was 2 weeks ago when the aggrieved came to my office to report the case.
Did she let you know she had reported this case earlier?
Yes, she did. She reported the case 2 weeks ago, but the file was hidden from my reach by the officer who is currently facing his own charges.
So what is this gentleman being accused of?
Abuse of office plus many other crimes.
Thank you. No more questions, Your Honor.
And does the defense have any questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
You may take a seat, madam. The prosecution may call the next witness.
So, we're either going to do this the hard way or the easy way. What's it going to be? The evidence. Where is it? I said, where is it? You won't speak, huh? Ah! Bloody shit.
Your Honor, prosecution requests for more time to gather more evidence.
Order in court.
We also need to know the whereabouts of the second witness. Please give us more time.
The court gives you only 24 hours to present the witness required. Otherwise, the court will resume tomorrow and the verdict will be given regardless. This court is adjourned.
Ask a lot of questions as interview. You need to be able I want to do everything. You have to win. Come on. So let's
All right. Please be seated.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Is the defense ready with its case?
Yes, Your Honor. I call the defendant.
Raise your hand, sir. Place the other on the hand. You promise to tell the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
So, Mr. Chamagel, where were you on the night of August 25th?
Oh, I was attending a lovely function in one of my city hotels, and my niece had organized it.
Was the aggrieved part of the same party you were attending?
Yeah, she was.
Did you happen to talk to her or even touch her?
Not really, apart from the coded greeting when my niece introduced us on the table.
You liar! I saw you take her down the hallway!
Order in court.
Proceed.
So, how long did you stay at the party?
Actually, I stayed until my wife called me a couple of minutes later with an emergency at home and I had to rush home.
Was the party done by the time you left, and had the students already left?
The party wasn't done by the time I left, but I remember telling my assistant to make sure that all the students had left and they were all safe.
Thank you so much, Chamagel. No further questions, Your Honor, and no further witnesses.
Does prosecution have any questions?
Yes, Your Honor. So, Mr. Chamagero, you say you didn't touch her. How did you get the scar on your face?
I'm a businessman and I work too. Such simple scratches shouldn't be any matter to you.
Your assistant directed Shiba to where you had taken my client. Why did you deny talking to her?
As I said, I'm a businessman. I have very many cars and very many workers. It could have been one of my workers who was in the vehicle.
So, do you actually affirm to my client having been dragged away in one of your cars?
As I said, I had an emergency at home. I can't tell.
Surprising. You have so much property and you don't keep tabs on it. How irresponsible.
Yes, when you have faith in your workers, you might as well trust them with your property. I'm a man of a well-built reputation in this city, and for my success, many people have tried to come up with ploys to tarnish my name. Your Honor, I'm an innocent man who wakes up every morning to find ways of putting food on the table for my family and help the needy too. In this, many people will come up with ploys to tarnish my name, Your Honor. And if helping the needy is a crime, then well, I'm guilty as charged, the courthouse.
No more further questions, Your Honor.
The defendant has been excused.
I want to alter date tonight. Make it clean and leave no traces.
Your Honor, the prosecution asks for more time to bring more evidence.
I'm sorry, but I can't give you more time.
Your Honor, the defendant, first of all, was arrested when police investigations were done and concluded. Second, there are witnesses who saw him living with my client and they both never returned to the party. Even when the case was reported, we all know the files were hidden by a man we know to be in close cahoots with the defendant. So on this basis, Your Honor, you must find him guilty.
My lord, Chamagero was unlucky to try to show the friendliness by interacting with young girls who were friends to his niece. If he intended, why would he do it at his own workplace? My lord, my client has no harm, and he testified under the oath that he never harmed anyone. Besides that, in the prosecution he has presented today, no real prima facie to show that it happened. That means there is a reasonable doubt, and therefore you must find him not guilty.
After looking at the evidence, the witness, and the cases presented by both sides, this court finds the defendant
Your Honor, this is the witness I've been waiting for, and this is the evidence. Please, take a look at it. Please. Here. You have to look at this evidence, please.
After examining all this evidence, witness, and cases presented, this court finds the defendant guilty and sentences to 19 years in prison.
I told you.
I know.
Mercy, I remember telling you justice will prevail one day. Now the rich Chamagiro is now the ashamed Chamagiro inside prison.
I was really worried about everything at the start, but then Walter came in and I was so happy. I just do not know. It was like a miracle. I knew my life had come to one
Mercy.
end and all that.
What? You remember we did not get to know the results.
I'm not scared for over for anything whatsoever.
Okay,
I'm ready for whatever is in that envelope.
Let's check what they have. Mercy, brother.
What does this mean?
Torn tissues around your vaginal area. Wow, this is good.
What does
No
it mean?
pregnancy detected. And no STDs.
Oh, thank you so much.
Happy for you.
Hey, you! Get me some water. You get me something to drink. I'm a rich man in this town. Get me something to drink.
Shut up,
man.
you're in prison.
No, get me something.
Okay.
Officer, get me something.
Let me just help you.
Yes. How can they treat me like this? I'm a rich man. No! No, take off my pants! No, let me! Shut up!
I wish that there was never you and me. I wish that there was never you and me. If only I could be solid as I used to be, like a rock through the storm or a battle that's won. I will feel complete if only I was an actress to act the same, where I don't care about you and me, or even better, I wish that there was never you and me.
That was our play, our drama. I hope you've seen several errors, mistakes, and good things. Yeah, we tried our best. Our apologies. The reason as why we were seeing people halfway is because it was a sequence issue when they were exporting, but that can be corrected. Because the other thing is we were rushing while editing or preparing for exams, so I would say little emphasis was put on observing such things. But we are going to change that. We are going to make sure that the product, the final product, the one we shall produce after, the final one, soon we shall communicate. We'll have everyone clear. Everyone will be seen. That's why you'd see some scenes where it's just plain, maybe it's the wall and the character is sideways. Yeah, that was a sequence issue. If you realize we had several issues of consistency, actually, it was one issue of the flash. At first it was a white and red. Then later on you see black and blue. Then we had another issue of light. You remember in Mercy's room when the parents were coming? One camera was showing green. The room was green. The other camera was well exposed, something like that. Then we had one of the biggest issues or challenges we had was sound. We tried our best. That's why we see some clips. We tried to synchronize, but then there are those clips where we used one camera and the camera had issues. This sound wasn't balanced. The other clips where I used one camera, we were using the main camera that had the balanced sound. It's the sound that we're using for every scene. So when we were caught up on sun emergency moment and we needed to record a scene, any camera you pick up is the one you go with. Then when you get there, realize its sound is different. You try to balance to better it, and it's still having some issues. But we tried our best. Yeah. Then, special thanks to our executive director, our executive producer, Mr. Senoga. Yeah. He always consulted how far with the work, what is happening, any progress. Almost every week he would communicate or he would call to confirm what's happening, and I would say we didn't let him down because we wanted this to happen or to finish the project before exams, which we did. Yeah, I'm so proud of you. Yeah, I'm so proud. I want to thank the characters, especially Mercy. She tried her best. She did her best. Yeah. Maybe I have nothing much to say. Allow me give the producer to also talk about something or say something.
Once again, thank you very much, guys. I believe most of you were wondering how the footage looked very nice on the camera and how it didn't turn out that way here. You just have to forgive us for some of those technical errors. For starters, the time lapse that was given to us to be able to hand in this work, as well as think of doing our examination and finish them in time, made it that the people who were supposed to be doing this work did it haphazardly in some cases, and it wasn't because they were ignoring errors or anything of that sort. They actually didn't have the will to, the freedom to execute and maybe think on their feet. But then once again, for someone to be under that much pressure and to be able to produce at least a raw product, we're not saying it's the final, but a raw product that you guys could probably tell the story and enjoy a few bits of it and stuff like that, even without the heads. I'm sure they'll be there next time. I think you guys need to appreciate Kasozi for the dedication, because among all of us, I was seeing people who were in the script development team giving me eyes about how the plot was flowing and how it wasn't flowing in sync with how it was in the script. That can also be corrected. I believe there are clips that come before others,
And then there are important things that we probably didn't add into the story, but that also I think is because these guys were working under pressure. A few characters didn't appear. I believe maybe some footage, I don't know if it was lost or because of the sound issues, it was hard to synchronize all the people in there. But we are going to make sure that whatever product we come out with between now and Monday will be something that you guys will be very proud of. And I'm sure you've seen what we can do in the past. And this was a director's rough cut, which means not a lot of the edits that could have gone into it have gone into it yet. But if we put our heads together, I'm sure very many of the errors that we've made can be corrected. The acting was first class, to be honest, with the pictures we received here. I feel like the actors did the script justice, which is good. Good work by the casting director. I think she wanted that to be mentioned, but she did a good job. I feel like every character suited their role, even those ones we improvised on. They did their jobs very well. The one takeaway from this project is that if we put our heads together, we can achieve anything. And today marks the last day of school for us as a class. It has been very, very nice working with you guys. I can't trade this team for any other. The past 3 years have been a roller coaster, and this is probably the pinnacle of it all. And this is basically our swan song. So we are going to make sure that the story you told is one that UCU and the rest of the university community is going to be proud of. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, that is from me and the team, the cast, the crew, and everyone who was behind the scenes. Thank you very much. See you when I can't avoid it. Feedback. I'll take over this session, but maybe let me give the mic to Mr. Senoga to say something. Okay. We are going to go into the Q&A session. Anyone with queries, comments, additions, subtractions, I'm here for you. Yes, you could direct the questions to the person who is directly under the docket. Okay.
Thank you very much. The question goes to, it's actually a request to Mr. Senoga. If it is possible for the next group of students, mass communication, that are going to be shooting the same thing we did, if there could be a possibility of provision of enough cameras, that is going to really, really help, because most of the things that we are facing is because we lacked the cameras and the equipment that we needed. And also if they can also widen the time space that you actually give them. That's all.
Thank you. He's actually right. At some point, we went to the department to ask for cameras, and they told us the ones that are available. First priority goes to UCU Focus students. And I was wondering, UCU Focus and us, who are the finalists? So I didn't get, but anyway. We had to make do with what we had, and eventually the product came out the way it did. Any other questions? Comments, okay.
Okay, so my comment here, as casting director, I want to thank you all for bringing your A game on the different roles you took up. I could see some people in a way I have never seen them before. Bridget gave me goosebumps. Lynn blew my mind. Priscilla, you guys, I am so proud of you. Please keep this passion, and may you achieve all your dreams. May they all come true. Thank you very much.
Any other questions, comments, additions or subtractions? Oh yes, I noticed there's a scene that was missing. So I'm going to ask editor what is going on. There's a scene where the CID actually arrests Richie to take him to jail. It's not there. From his office. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I had moved out at that time. And then also, I feel like there are scenes where we needed to add music because they were lengthy and there was no dialogue. To be able to hear shoes is a little disturbing. I felt like if it was the last standoff towards the end of the court date, we should have slowed the motion of the lawyers into the room for starters, for dramatic effect. And then also maybe mood music. I'm sure we have soundtracks from a few of the musicians in here. I was actually very happy with the selection of the soundtracks. I last had Simon's Pool Party in first year. I last had Simon's Pool Party in first year, and it went viral in another way. But but I was very happy that the music selection was entirely ours. But for the missing scenes, maybe we need to create a bit more mood music to kind of create anticipation. But I still believe that with a little bit more work, what you have done, I think should not be subtracted. They should just add to it. Because I think you told the story from a very creative point of view. Yes.
The scene transitions, the same transition for flashback is the same that we see sometimes when we're shifting from one scene to another. So it creates confusion. Then at some point we just have like blank space. So yeah.
Editor, do you have anything to say about that? Or
okay. Good afternoon. Yeah. About the scene transitions, yeah. The challenge was okay because we divided the roles of editing, so I didn't really get time to look through the general, after merging it because of time, and we had to submit it to Mr. Mulwanya Ali, so I didn't get time to look at each scene and the effects between the transitions, but I'll work upon that.
Any other comments, additions, or subtractions? Even from the guys who are going to be able to do this project next year, I believe there are things you could have seen, and there's a possibility you could do better. So comments are open.
So I want to thank the production team. Yeah, you did a great work. Then I would love to really put emphasis on Richie, the character. Yeah, I think he played a good role. Yeah, we had some areas where he gave us comic relief. And also I liked the bodyguards. You would see that they are women but empowered. Then the effects stimulated some kind of emotions. Yeah.
Finally, we have positive feedback. Thank you very much, Wafula, for those things that I am sorry. Yes. From the creative point of view, we had someone who wrote the script and also was a hitman, or or Richie's henchman. I believe without even appearing on camera, his actions were first class. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want you to think that Clinton is someone who will harm you after here. I think you guys need to also appreciate him for the good work done in terms of dialogue. I think the dialogue was a bit rich. If you're listening in, it was well done. Lynn? Any? Yes. I'd forgotten. Yes, Clinton did half of the script, and Lynn did the other half. Mr. Senoga had some additions in there. But where we didn't execute, we apologize. There was a scene where we're supposed to have a robbery of a boda. Clearly, we don't have stuntmen. Our resources, our pockets, or our resource envelope was below par. And that's something I am also adding on to maybe the next year. You're not going to get any funding from the faculty. I am going to tell you this, and whoever your producer is, he's in problems. Because you're going to have to move from point A to point B, mobilize people, move around with the cameras, be there for the entire production, make sure that everyone is doing whatever they have to do on time, on your own pocket. And I think it's going to take a lot of dedication and love for this, and I'm sure at some point, you'll just enjoy it for the fact of enjoying it. But as I'm telling you this, you'll probably write a letter to the faculty. You'll get your response after examinations. But I think be inventive. Think of a way of maybe putting it into the heads of your classmates as you get the project next year, that maybe when the semester comes, each one should bring, say, 10,000 shillings for the production. I don't know how large your journalism class will be next year. You guys might be like, say 60. If you're 60, for instance, that is 600,000 shillings. That can do a lot. You can use 150 for like decorating a room with official decor, things of that sort. You can even maybe give people a meal once in a while, maybe water. But all that I'm saying is something that I think you should then calculate in your team right now. It took a lot of dedication from these people to actually execute this. I think they only ate on the first day. The first day is when everyone had a meal. It's the only reason actually why they were there up too late. They knew that at the end of the day there was going to be a reward. But that was because they came up with the whole idea of getting the resources from among themselves, and at the end of the day, it helped. Brandy has another observation, I think.
Sorry, yes. One more. One thing that has made me happy about this movie is we took representation very seriously and emulated it very well. From the OC being a woman, from one of the lawyers on the other side being fairly represented. And when we go out in the world, let's keep this flag high. It's one of the reasons Ugandan movies have failed to move, because the women will stay at home and the men will go to work, and then they'll only be gossiping in the corner. I like that the women were doing very important things in this movie. A round of applause for ourselves. Yeah, give it up. Okay, I'm done now.
Okay, yes.
Good afternoon. I would like to appreciate the actors, especially the victim. And I know no one can accept to be ashamed to that extent, and the person who did that case. Anyway, straight to the point, I appreciate the entire movie session. I believe in optimism, and I know it is said a poor workman always blames his tools. So I think coming next year we shall have something better, and we have learned from the current, and always the past corrects the present. Thank you. The third years.
Thank you very much, Junior, for your contribution. I believe we also had that optimism last year. But yes, the obstacles you'll meet while you're shooting, nothing can prepare you for them, trust me. One moment you're planning as an entire class and you're like, we are going to do this. Then the next you are alone, everyone else is reading in the library, you're walking around carrying cameras on your own. It's not that we didn't execute these things because we could not. there are some factors that came in that were beyond our control at times. And I believe with preparation now, and I like the fact that you guys are here and planning with Mr. Senoga. I believe you guys can start your project, I think, after a month of a bit of study. Because what I think it needs is time. Because there are programs that will interrupt you. We had planned to start shooting the weekend of the graduation. It didn't happen because all the cameras were being used to cover the what? The graduation. That is something you can't control. It's a prerogative from the faculty. So at the end of the day, you can't come in and say. So I like the optimism, but execution sometimes is beyond your control. Trust me.
Then the scene of rape, where they rape Mercy, I feel like it would be more appropriate if we focus on the shadow image, the silhouette than the real actual image. It would be much better.
We recorded two times. Don't worry. We had cameras that were recording the shadows, and we had cameras that were recording. That seemed like a CCTV camera, something like that. So that was another camera. There were other cameras down that were recording the shadows. But when it came to editing, and some of us were supposed to be there to supervise what was supposed to be done, we were also trying to assemble our brains to switch to examination mode. But even Mr. Mulwanya told us to adjust that, and we shall make the changes because we have the footage. Yeah. Then the other challenge is when you don't, should I say when you don't plan? Okay, because of the tension, sometimes you fail to make appointments. And then you go to a place and you ambush the people there. I remember when we went to the other place first, Jobia Hotel. At first they had accepted free of charge, and then later they changed. They're like, no, you have to pay something. And people are already tuned. They know tomorrow you're shooting. So you have to improvise because everyone is aware tomorrow they are coming. Then, and I remember some other day when we were going to use principal, is it the chapel? And we had organized ourselves, we had assembled everything. One of the staff there came and told us, the VC has seen you people moving chairs from here to here. What are you people doing? He needs to know what is happening. It seemed like we were rooting. No way. It's like we were trying to disorganize the whole place. We are rioting inside. So that also taught us a lesson that you need to have plan B in every situation. When Roy applied to Mukono Court, and they told us the process is long, you have to apply to Kampala Court something, then that is all time. And our deadline was of 2 weeks. That seemed impossible, so we had to think of other possible means. So you have to be sharp, try to think beyond the box, and always be alert. I remember sometimes I would carry cameras. You say today we are shooting this, you go to the place carrying 2 cameras, you reach there, no one is there. You wait, and all you have to do is go back, and when they come back, they call you, they're like, we are around, you go back. You have to persist. Be patient. In life, don't give up, otherwise you lose it all. So it requires you to be patient and keep hoping. Keep hoping. Never give up. That's one thing I learned. Thank you.
I think lastly, if no one else has a contribution, is there anyone else? Is there anyone else? I think we are done here. Lastly, Mr. Sonoga, this is my appeal to you for these guys here. I believe by now you know which people are going to do journalism and which ones are going to do communications. If they could start coming up with a script by now, the team meets, even we still have a day, they could start pitching their ideas, say tomorrow. Maybe if, say Waswa is the producer, he comes up with his team of 10 or 15 people who are representative of the entire class. They sit down and start pitching ideas. By the time the semester starts, next semester starts, or the time they're supposed to be shooting this drama, they will have a concept that they can push forward to the entire class, and then those other additional things come in. Because I believe we spent a month and a half coming up with a script. Time which I think if we had used the holidays that were 5 months to come up with a script, we would have come here to just copy notes in class and shoot during the week. So I feel like while maybe there is protocol in the way things should be done, I think whoever is the producer should know by the first semester of third year so that the preparation process is a little easier. I think the only thing that has made classes lag behind in terms of handing in the project in time is because a little time is taken into pre-production planning, and they bring that pressure onto the students when I feel like it's a little too late. Because third year for journalism students third year, second semester for journalism students is the trickiest. You can think you have an entire month of nothing doing. Then when the deadlines come, the radio lecturer is on your ears, the advanced editing lecturer is on your ears. Like, everyone wants their work. And then all of a sudden, the TV drama coursework will also come while you're trying to conceptualize a script. I feel like there's a bit of planning that needs to go into this if it's to improve. We tried our best, but still programs caught up with us. I can't thank you guys enough. I just feel like I've not worked with a team as dedicated as this. And yeah, I hope to work with a few of you in the future. Thank you.
Good evening. Yeah, I'm actually very exhilarated at the end of this exercise. I must say that since the first drama during my week, that has been done by your program, it just gets better and better and better. Okay? And I must say, for one, of course, the course unit has grown. If only you could look at history, the pictures before, even the literature, you find that we had very little for equipment, and even the course outline, how would enrich it, how would, under the circumstances, how would come out with what probably the industry requires as we grow. There is a question that always comes. I keep talking about it and bring it in the exams. People ask me, what are you going to bring? Because they are reminded of their senior six and the previous whatever. They want the question papers, and then they cram them. And what? No, it's about look at your environment. Do you have any solutions to them? What's happening? What are the trends? Natural science, basically. Yeah? So what's the natural science? That really, really, the communication industry has grown. And there are many people who graduate and do not actually go into what people used to think they would get employed, like traditional media, New Vision, Monitor, UBC, NTV, or whatever. They don't get employed there anymore, by the way. Previously, they would have their chances. They would say, the ODs like the Senegas are soon walking out. When we graduate, we walk in. And it happened. It came to pass. But the ones who are there are about your age too. And they don't think they are going away soon. But at the same time, my observation are that the ones who are graduating now they have a wider latitude of how to, employ the skills and knowledge that they have acquired from the training programs, which have been enriched over time. And they have been enriched over time because of industry trends. What's happening? Before that, you remember, everybody aspired to be either a news anchor or a news reporter. Then we graduate into documentary productions. But now there is a lot of room and a lot of money and a lot of opportunity in the dramatization of information. Okay? There's a lot of that. I was going to bring you a guest speaker, but unfortunately, it was at the end of our program. But this guest speaker has, we met when I was working with Uganda Television, and he was coming in from Makerere. And I used to be amazed at this young man, at the kind of new ideas he would come up with. One time, I think we had a program. No, I wanted to feature him on one of my programs. Then I said, oh, come ready for this and this. And these are the don'ts. You know, like, don't come in a white shirt when you're coming to appear on television. Things to do with color and all that, how to look nice in front of whatever. Then he asked me, and then what else? How am I going to demonstrate my ideas? Then I said, oh, no, basically you talk about what you've been doing. Yeah, on television. Then he said, should I come in with my Muppets? Because he used to do a Muppet show. And that's how I noticed him. Because everybody who is going into production is producing for the adults. How about the children's programming? Muppets are for children and things like that. And it was unique. Then he walked out and he graduated and he went into mainstream media. He worked for the Monitor, then the East African. Then after that, he went into the arts in literature magazines, including Nairobi. And you know, there's a lot of growth in fashion magazines. And when he went to Nairobi, he saw that there was the other side, other than mainstream journalism, that people could take advantage of. And that was culture, okay? And filmmaking falls under that, cultural studies. Lots of room for that. And you can just identify only one little niche. You say, oh no, I don't want to be troubled by this directing too much. Me, I'll just go and closet myself in some little space there and write my scripts. Scripts come with a good pay, okay? And there are not so many. If there are so many, then we would be there, up there in the film industry. But the stories are here. And that's why even Hollywood comes down here to pick up our stories and probably do them better in some way, but I don't think entirely do them better. The world is full of these stories which we should render, okay? And that's why the cultural industry is growing very rapidly. One time I was talking to a young man at the National Theatre, and he was telling me that you people who can write, you people who have some skill in production, why don't you enter headlong? Because your colleagues down there, downtown, you know where downtown is, like Owino Market, they are producing a lot of Juwakali films, homemade kind of films. But they say they are getting a lot of money in their Fanable productions, other than the ones who think that I have to compete with Hollywood, come out with a Hollywood style kind of whatever script of that level. You have to survive. And what does the ordinary people want? Give them their stories. Use the resources that are available to you and produce a film within your means, okay? But then how do you do that? Okay? One, what are the growing themes? What are the trending themes? So this one is trending. You know the Me Too movement, isn't it? For how long have women been raped and they have kept quiet? Okay? Including the United States, one of the loudest, what do they say, female, should we say female? Or is it the Scandinavian? Where the women speak out a little bit more than, louder than the ordinary Azaire in Uganda. Yeah? So they're just emerging. And even within their film industry, there are still stereotyped roles that they give them, isn't it? To look good in there, to whatever. Yeah. Here, I see a few things I really enjoyed. One, I could see that the irony of it all. Here is the male guy, doing all these funny things, and guess who are protecting him? Females. Okay? And by the way, that's the irony of life. Bring it out. Because ordinary things, we don't notice them. You see? Productions like that do that. Okay? And then I must say also one thing. The title. I remember there was a bit of a slight battle about the title. Wasn't it? But when I looked at this film, was it the director? I will talk whatever about the cinematography. It's beautiful. It's been the best we've had so far. The angles, the whatever, the symbolism, not just on the nose, telling us that he's red and we see him red. No. I like the rape scene where you had, especially for us at Uganda Christian University, I was going to say, because Mark had told me, where are these students? You know, they're coming in late, and you know that I have to go through the film? I got scared. I said, you never know with the students. There could be a scene where there's undressing, stripping, and what? And we all just get shocked, and it's being streamed live. And I like the way you treated it. Yeah? How did you treat it? Lights and shadows, isn't it? Lights and shadows. You could see, and our curiosity was what? Was animated in that. I'll talk technically later on. But before, I must say something about young Nasasira. This cultural industry, you have a place. Yeah. Yeah. The theme of speaking out. People, a lot of things happening to them, and they are not speaking out. You carried it out properly. Apart from that, very come out scene, I don't know, Kasozi is going to do something about it, where you kind of laughed in court. But Nangereka behind was doing a good job of... yes. And then, also, the loneliness was carried effectively throughout. You were actually alone. You were unsure. Should I? What? There were people there for you, all right. But still you could feel the loneliness. And I was vindicated by this title, A Lone Path. I was like Museveni. I had to get these people, bring them to State House and convince them about changing constitutions. And yes, but nevertheless, they were convinced, and I think a lone path is effective, isn't it? Those who've seen it. Only, again, technically, before I jump, whatever, maybe I could forget this. If we could, maybe at the end, just what do they call those kind of captions, transcriptions that say thousands of women go through this process, and you know. I know that, and again, technically, you guys did very well. One of our biggest problems with African filmmaking is our verbosity. You handle that well. There was not too much dialogue and a nose and talk all the time. No. You played around with the sound and the music bed, and can I vouch for the fact that the music was our own, homegrown, all of it? Oh, really, that was fantastic. Okay? Because now it's already on the internet, but I'm sure it's not, what do you call it, collapsing along the way just because we've used other people's music. Yeah? Or other people's sound effects. So, I'll go blow by blow as to the merits of some of the parts technically of the film. But I just want to say that with the cultural industry, look online and you see lots of calls and funding along certain themes. Okay? The representation, gender gets a lot. Student productions gets a lot. You can get more money to carry forward your production. And the good thing is that you have something to show. The only problem is that there are vouchers there who could take your concept and entirely steal it. And that's why I was very insistent on this copyright thing. But you can use it to seek funding, more funding, to actually carry out a professional production with beyond just student filmmaking. There are funds which come in under certain themes. Okay, for sure, this production we're taking it along the channels of distribution. One, the Uganda Film Festival. I think it must go there. We will definitely take it to the broadcasting networks, as it were. We'll take it up. And then it would also run the circuits of the institutions and stuff. This is not a dedicated film school. But as we engage, we network with others, we come with our productions and we talk about them. Yeah? And somehow there's a more fertilization of what can be done. Yeah? How can we take it to the next level? And if it's well done, Mr. Director and whatever, maybe we can have a night at the National Theatre. When you look at this production, yeah, and we package it properly, I think it can stand side by side, yeah, with the one that my Muzungu friend showed you. Yeah, I think it can stand side, and we can command a night. First of all, we have a focus audience, former UCU students. 2, you are as many as 100, isn't it? We can somehow fill up the national. Yeah, and so on and so forth. We can have a moment for that. The problem is making our productions and being, again, silent about them and just putting them in a closet. So I think that was good. We'll still liaise with your producer and your director and see how we can squeeze more, squeeze more out of this production. Take it, whatever. Because the point is to have something. Now, at least you won't be commenting about other people's productions where people show us what you've done. Yeah. We have something to show. We have a script to show. We have actors to show. And we have, we have a full-fledged production to show. We can begin from there, all of you. And I would like to sign our producer to go ahead, because now we have a Uganda Film Festival. The calls have come out to submit. If we fine-tune it, we should submit, by all means. But we should be clear of which category. I don't know how long it is. It's a feature. It's not a short film. But nevertheless, it also falls there. And being a student production, you have, I don't know whether there's a student category. There's a student category. Enter it there. Okay? And even a mere mention and whatever, you never know what we can get out of it. Okay? Yeah. And then we are also organizing a students' film festival. The Kampala International Film School is spearheading that. We are in talks. But I was scared. I was saying, what are we going to show? Yeah, sometimes you wonder whether you compete fairly or you trot in. But I've seen some productions, the ones that you did with the short ones with I said, well, we could sneak on those with a lot of talk. But at least this one is self-explanatory. A few scenes need to be worked on, and but I like your editorial choices. The theme was brought out, the lone path, the rape thing, it was brought out, the representation of women in there, and the irony of it all. Because you know who helps entrench this paternalism, this patriarchism? It's the females. You go Musika wants to wed Azaire. They go to Kwanjura, and then they say, guess who talks ill about the Musikas? Yeah, it's the mother-in-law or the sisters. Yeah, they're the ones who say, we do. Look at her, what? Yeah, you know, they want to take control. The females entrenching this chauvinism, male chauvinism. So we can see that in the movie itself. What should I say? Yes. Yes. Then let me talk about the bad, the negative, not about the film, but about the talk that the producer had. I think I'm bound to say something. The producer sounded a little bit like an apostle of doom. But Kasango, my friend, are you going to do journalism? Yeah, you're welcome to journalism. It's very interesting. At the end, is entertainment, isn't it? And I can assure you it will be more entertaining than ever before, and you'll be more resourced. Because previously we were a department. You're still mass communication people. Now we are faculty of journalism, media, and communication with a bigger budget. And then, and now our head of department actually is very amenable to whatever we are doing, to practicalize whatever the theory that we are teaching. She will definitely be. I walk there with you. Of course, we'll talk to her, give her her personal copy, and talk about increasing our funding in that direction. She will definitely. I am very positive about that. She'll do that. And you know, even our equipment has grown. Probably we can even ring fence for ourselves during that time. But then it's also not bad to work under stressful conditions. Because anyway, production is about that. There is no real ideal situation. It's worse when somebody is giving you, a producer is giving you his money or her money, and wants the production within a dedicated time. And you see the stress. That's why people call directors from hell, cameramen from hell. I had that experience myself. Yeah, actors from hell. Okay. So the future is bright, Kasango. Don't listen. Listen to him a little bit, because you never know, you could be the producer. Yeah, but I'll be there to stand by you. I promise that. Yeah, yeah, I'll be there to stand by you. And by the way, Mr. Producer, I'm happy that you raise these issues. And tomorrow we are going to have Kisule. We have established a production called the UCU Authors Club. How many of you have visited that? After here, we are going to, you can also go back and look at, review this conversation that has taken place this afternoon. Okay? So tomorrow, you and him are going to be hosted in a production which is will be featured on YouTube, on our platform, UCU Authors Club, isn't it? I don't know whether many of you. So long afterwards, you can be able to reminisce this moment and raise these issues, be brave and raise them. Okay? And thank you so much for raising them. Yeah, then another thing is I'm also very happy that the staff, most of it that we have there is our own, homegrown. The music was ours. Yeah? The tendency is to be lazy in Uganda, to copy and paste other people's production. We are trying to work with these people in second year in creative writing. They've written some very I told them to write some dages or some lyrics about some momentous situations that they have experienced in their life. And some of them are so good that we think we can help the Ugandan music industry coming out with those kind of lyrics that are memorable and unforgettable. In English, that is. Yeah, I know there are so many in our local dialects because there we are masters. Okay, then, yes, now let me begin commenting blow by blow. There were problems, but, and the problems were understandable, and I predicted them, isn't it? I talked about them. I also gave you examples. But you also had very big strength in the producer. Your producer was a very serious manager of people and resources. Yeah? And then we clap for him. Very serious. He knew how to use his human resource and the facilities that he had. Yeah, and the time. Really, really, really. We are very proud of you. And we're looking forward to you being a producer of big national events. And or, for instance, growing our Uganda film industry. Yes. Okay. Then the director, I've been really, really amazed at this. Let me tell you a small gossip. He is a student in the second year who, as usual, about just the time before exams, was bargaining for more marks. And then I told him, no, you see, you didn't do it well, and I gave you a chance to what? To redo, and it was not very impressive. And then on top of that, first of all, you hardly attend class. And then he began giving me all this fantasy about how important he is in the national society and whatever. And then as we were walking, we meet this guy. So we talk. I ask him about the production. Then this guy is smart. He says, let me seize the moment. He says, guess what? You know, I was working in Parliament. In Parliament, I have such influence. Yeah? Actually, I even vet the internship and whatever. And, yeah? So I vetted that guy, Musika. I vetted him, and everybody was so impressed by Musika. Everybody wanted him to go with Musika. Is that true? Yeah, when there's a production in Parliament, everybody wanted, and it looks like he may even be given a job. I'm not so sure whether this guy was being too smart. But I had worked with Musika before. We worked on a production, and no doubt. But I thought he was just going to be what Sam Wazungu told me, because I asked Sam Wazungu during our training in production that, yes, how do you see our productions as vis-a-vis yours? Said, well, he was a camera person, and says, yours, the problem is that you have these security shots. Security shots are, you establish, long shot, yeah, traditional shots. Security shots, you come, you whatever. And security shots are not bad for documentary, news making and all that. Because for them, they want, yeah, they don't want you to be so creative as to distort the facts. They want, if it is Athura talking, it should be her, not her shadow talking. Not you playing around with light intensities and whatever. Color grading doesn't. And that's why we don't go into the production designs much. We are still in that world of factual filmmaking, documentary, and news, TV news. And then I was not disappointed with them when we worked on a documentary together. I was definitely not. And he was good to direct also. You want that humility. Take that shot. Could you just lie down a little bit on the ground and take it from this? He would say, yes, sir. He was almost military. Yeah? Yes, I would take it. And when I went back to review, out of 8/8, that 8/8, 5/8 were good, usable. At this level, that's a very good beginning. It's because I hadn't seen his creative side of it all. I don't know whether I attribute that to him or to his team, people like Ampaire and Ibona, and who else was on camera? Yeah, although I can believe. Yes. Was he the one telling you, don't shoot it directly, take the shadow? Who was telling you? It was a we. Yeah. Okay, but at the end it has to be you. Okay? Yeah, but I like the treatment, the interpretation of the script. It was not a direct on the nose, having security shots. No. You brought the shots in such a way, through the angle, through the lighting, whatever, that brought out the essence of what was required. And the pictures were doing the talking, and that's why we didn't even have much dialogue in there. Did you see that? Not much. That script was thick, wasn't it? But you can see there, you could count the lines that were used. Okay? That was good. The cinematography, I thought that was nice. Okay? He gave me explanations about the aspect ratios and whatever, but I also kind of knew that Kasozi couldn't make those kind of mistakes without declaring them. Yeah, so I knew there's a better product where that came from. And then I must also say something about the edit. The edit was good. The transitions still have some problem. I don't know how you're going to deal with them, but they're not too bad. Okay? Then, you had varieties of shots from different angles and whatever to tell the story. The treatment was good, the way you read into the script to bring it out visually. I don't know, did you storyboard? Oh, you had a storyboard, yeah. And it can relate because I saw your production. You remember what I commented about your production? Yeah, you lifted it, the interpretation, the treatment of the script. That was good. The music, homegrown, for me that's good enough. But it also, I think, it related to the moment, didn't it? Okay, it related to the moment. Sound, you have to do something about it. Some discrepancies in levels, but it's not a fatal situation. No, it's redeemable if you sit down with some person who's good at color. I mean, not color, sound mixing. Okay, you can do that. And since there is not so much dialogue, you can do with a lot of ambience. Yeah? Sounds, create, instead of going directly for dialogue, you just create some noises there of people and whatever. You fill it up in there. Been given a copy, so I give you more detailed technical information. Then graphics. Did you like the graphics at the end? A bit local, isn't it? But of course, this is the director's cut. Get those guys who. But I think he just wanted to have, a first cut. But work on the graphics and let's have those kind of cinematic graphics, other than our local documentary type. Yeah. Yes. We documentary, we accept anything. As long as the story is there, the facts are there. For graphics, I had told you, if you give us some kind of either a preamble or at the end, some story at the end to tell us thousands of human in Uganda, go through this process, this struggle. And this resonates with a lot of people. The rich guys taking advantage of the poor people or vulnerable people. It's there in the film. Then the acting was good. The acting, especially the lead actor. Your lead actor, there are many categories, by the way, in film festivals, even Uganda Film Festival. I think some people can give you a second note. They can step back a little bit because of your fine acting. And when you are dealing with the class, often we don't know these other aspects that are in you. Okay? Sometimes we mistake the silence for what? When behind there is fire. Fire in the acting, fire in whatever. Yeah, all that. All actors, I saw Samantha seated there. She really looked like, yeah. And then who else? Yeah, and then there is my Wafula saying, what was it? That was apt. Yeah? Are you lost? That was very apt. You didn't give him much, but that was okay. I thought a little, this guy, what's his name? Mugume. Is it Mugume? Yeah, Herbert. There was a bit of, he fitted in that situation, but there's a bit of over, And even the main actor, the male one, he was okay. Screen-like. But sometimes I think, were you there when controlling some of the actors? They could overdo some of their actions. Yeah? But well, it's a student production. Then it was not a production of professionals, but you casted them well. Yeah, you casted them well. And then who else? Yes, she looked mean. Nasirumbi, you looked mean, isn't it? And yes. And Natkwase, Daphne, I didn't know you could groove like, yeah? Yes. Yes, this one I saw her on TV. Yeah, report. And who else? In here, the Jerry's, all those I saw. And yes, the lawyer, yes. And then he is also another winner. This lawyer. One, he looked the part. He definitely looked a serious counsel. He looked the part. Then he's faltering with the language and what. Somebody could attribute it to the guy losing the case. Yeah, all that. You could get that connotation in there. Yeah? You say, the guy is a crook, but his lawyers are also crooks. So there are many storylines within them. Yeah, so finally, what do I get out in the end? For me, you effectively made a cut into the world of you young people today. Effectively. Yeah. My time as a youth, our challenges were different. Rape used to happen, but I don't know what was the main challenge at that time. Yes, it was even, very embarrassing. During my time, is that what your dad says? That's what your mom says. Okay. Yeah, so, but nevertheless, there was that cut into the world of today, and it's effectively displayed. And then, of course, it's a long time since I was that age, so therefore, the more relevant for me to look through and see what's happening in that world, But, yes. And then we were able to correspond with the universal theme of rape and other victimization of people, vulnerable people. You've all heard the American story of a guy called Epstein. Is it called Epstein? The guy who hanged himself in jail recently, who was, I think, was convicted for child abuse. Isn't it? It's a training thing. You can even Google search the American thing. So stories like that. There was the other, you remember the other guy? The film and TV star, American, one who was eventually locked up. There's one about that musician. All that is trending. Then how about Uganda? How about Uganda? So my appeal to you is don't collapse your team. Your work just began. Take it to the next level. After all, you're a team. Get the team together and scout around where you're going to take it next. At the film festival, if you make an entry, at the film festival, what normally happens is there are people who watch, producers, sponsors, funders, whatever it is, and they see how they can take the concept a step further than before. Okay? So please, let's work together so that we can enter it into the Uganda Film Festival and other festivals. I have to work with your producer because the producer at the end of it all is the person they know is responsible for the production. Otherwise, thank you so much for everything. Musene, yeah, you look the part, but don't be the part. Yes. Yeah, okay. And it's a good way to end our time at university, isn't it? Yeah. Isn't it? Okay. Thank you. Should we have just a little, the judge should have a final short prayer for us so that they wish us well. He wishes us well in our endeavors now that yeah.
I think we should stand up, sincerely. We humble ourselves for the prayer. Oh Lord, our Father, we thank you so much for the gift of life. We thank you so much for all the good things you give to us every day. We thank you, Lord, for the 3 years that we've been here at Uganda Christian University, for all the people we've met. We thank you so much. They've been so good to us, oh Lord. We thank you for our lecturers. Thank you for blessing them with the knowledge that they have passed on to us. We thank you particularly for our TV drama lecturer, Mr. Senoga. Thank you for our class, oh Lord. We are done with the papers. Pray that now you guide us into the next step of life. We pray that you give us courage to counter all our fears. We pray, Lord, that you give us all the wisdom to make the right decisions. In life, life is not determined by the type of degrees we get, but by the type of decisions we make. We pray that you guide us into all our ways from today and onwards. I prayed all that through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us all, now and forever. Amen. Wish you all the best. Ah, 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 ah.